Hello and welcome to How Mundane, the least interesting place on the internet. Today, Magic: The Gathering Final Fantasy collab is finally here. When I saw this announced, I knew I had to get something to rip for the channel. Settled on the gift bundle, which 9 14-card play boosters, 1 collector booster, some bonuses, cool counter, and of course the box. And the reason I knew I had to get something is because I have been a Final Fantasy fan for a long time. Like going all the way back to the original NES Final Fantasy back in the day, but kind of my peak Final Fantasy era was, there's that life counter, pretty cool, was the Super Nintendo, you know, Final Fantasy 2 and 3 in the US, aka Final Fantasies 4 and 6 in the full numbering setup. There's that collector's booster. Some of the bonus packs, some of the play boosters. Let's check out what is in this guy first. Golbez Crystal Collector. Yeah. Plains Hollow. All the Hollow lands. This would probably be just all of the regular lands. But again, with that lovely Final Fantasy art. So yeah, I still remember in the Super Nintendo era, the first time putting Final Fantasy II into the system, turning it on, hearing that, you know, symphonic soundtrack, seeing the 16-bit sprites, playing through Sephiroth's Intervention in Hollow, Gilgamesh, Garland. Anyway, playing through what was, at that time, one of the most involved storylines I had ever seen from a video game. It was really something else. And of course, I don't think anyone needs spoiler warnings or anything. But, you know, to this day, still remember Palom and Porum turning themselves to stone as kind of one of the most significant video game moments of my youth. Until, oh, here we go. Gilgamesh, Weapon Collector, Rare. Astrologian's Planesphere, Rare. There's a Titus. Until playing Final Fantasy III when it came out. And, I mean, that still stands as one of my favorite games of all time. Probably one of the greatest games of all time as far as storytelling goes. It is truly something you have to experience for yourself. Art series. There's Vivi from Final Fantasy IX, another one of my favorite Final Fantasies. Yeah, as far as US releases go, I played all of them through 10 without missing a release. You know, including Tactics, even played Mystic Quest. But once we got into 11, I skipped because I wasn't really into the MMO thing. Zell. 12, I tried to get into and just couldn't. 13, same deal. And so haven't really even tried to get into the new one. But still look back fondly on really all of that time frame. I know a lot of people love 7. I played 7. I liked 7. I liked 9 better. I'm just one of those weirdos who really liked Final Fantasy 9. Oh, here's a Mog's Valor. Or Moogle's Valor. Delivery Moogle. You're Not Alone. Reference to, of course, the track from the Final Fantasy IX soundtrack. One of the best tracks on that soundtrack, in my opinion. I have always been big into Final Fantasy soundtracks, and I would say it was the Final Fantasy III, Final Fantasy VI soundtrack that got me really into game soundtracks. And in fact, that was the first game soundtrack I ever bought a copy of. It was a 3 CD set, and it was not easy to track down at the time, but I had and listened to that Final Fantasy III soundtrack a ton. Laughing Mad. A foil. Go Starting Town from Final Fantasy I. Rydia. Tonberry. This is just, I think it's one of the coolest collabs Magic has done. I mean, obviously they've done a ton of them and there have been a lot of good ones, but the volume of Final Fantasy lore available to be pulled into this. There's a rare Bartz and Boko. A rare Cecil Dark Knight. All right, we got one play booster left, and then we'll see what's in that collector booster. Final Fantasy 13 rare that, again, since I did not so much get into Final Fantasy 13, that's adorable. All right, let's see what's in this one. One of the things that has been great about the Switch era is how much of the old Final Fantasies have been re-released, with some quality of life updates and other things. There's a great Final Fantasy IX, and then there's, of course, that Final Fantasy collection that's got all of the first 6. Hero Token. Dion Bahamut's Dominant from Final Fantasy XIV. Bahamut, Warden of Light. It's a Golbez. That is some nice art. And that's one of the things, the Amano art in the Final Fantasy series has always been good. Ultima, Final Fantasy XIV version. Sphere Grid, Final Fantasy X. Summon Good King Mog the 12th. Absolutely love that art. Another Final Fantasy 14. Hollow Swamp. Stolen Uniform. Of course, a reference to Final Fantasy 3. Another Final Fantasy, that's 16, it would appear. Ambrosia Whiteheart. Restoration Magic. Combat Tutorial. And Vincent's Limit Break in a Hollow. This is a cool hollow, actually. Well, there you have it. That's what I got from my Magic the Gathering gift bundle. A lot of stuff that I think is cool, at least. Thanks for being mundane with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.